Yes, Kenya. Tamu sana, yes. Earlier today, IEBC disqualified Mike Sonko, Waititu, and others Kiambu senatorial candidates. Listen into this.
Another category in the report are aspirants impeached and removed from public office for abuse of office. Under this category, the Commission received a report on 2 aspirants for the position of governor and 1 aspirant for the position of senator who have been impeached. The Commission's position is that the stipulation of Article 75 of the Constitution was never intended for ornamental purposes, but as an effective clause that requires holders of public office to conduct themselves with decorum and in a manner that brings honor to the office. In terms of the provisions of Article 75(3) of the Constitution, a person is dismissed or otherwise removed from office for contravention of Chapter 6 of the Constitution. A person who is removed from office on contravention of Chapter 6 of the Constitution is disqualified from holding any other state or public office, whether effective or elective or appointive. The Commission's position is that Article 75 of the Constitution is self-speaking and self-executing and does not have a proviso or a saving clause. Therefore, the 3 aspirants who have been removed from public office through impeachment are disqualified from contesting in the elections. In addition, a gubernatorial aspirant seeking election in Mombasa County was disqualified by the Commission from contesting as a candidate in the 2017 election. The reason for disqualification was and remains that he was removed from public office for abuse of office. He was convicted by the court on 15 December 2011 and sentenced to 3 years imprisonment. He therefore stands disqualified.
Yes. In this video, I want us to understand Sonko's mission in Mombasa and why most definitely that mission is unsuccessful. But before we dig deep, in case you've bumped here for the very first time, kindly subscribe, give this video a like. I know Sonko might have gotten several missions in Mombasa, but I just want us to have a look at a few of them. The first mission Sonko had in Mombasa was to push Raila Amolo Odinga to pick Kalonzo Musyoka as his running mate. I tend to believe that's the reason Sonko was given that post, or rather that ticket, to contest for Mombasa gubernatorial seat. And I'm saying that because upon Sonko being given that ticket, you can see clearly he was seriously agitating for Kalonzo to be picked as Raila's running mate. So I'm seeing Kalonzo in his thinking maybe wanted to use Mike Bobi Sonko to actually put pressure on Raila Amolo Odinga to pick him as a running mate. And that was so because I'm seeing a likely possibility where even Kalonzo might have wanted something like a negotiation. That you pick me as your running mate, then I withdraw Sonko from Mombasa gubernatorial race. That's one thing I'm seeing here. And then secondly, Kalonzo wanted a team, or rather some leaders, who could actually be very, very loud into creating a perception that he also, besides his Ukambani backyard, he also had votes outside of Ukambani. And Kalonzo maybe cleverly was trying to use Mike Bobi Sonko to achieve that mission. That is a reason I'm seeing most likely Kalonzo might have given Mike Bobi Sonko that wiper ticket to contest for Mombasa gubernatorial seat. I'm seeing that as being a possibility. And then secondly, Sonko's main mission in Mombasa, in my considered opinion, Sonko was holding brief for William Ruto. Sonko has been a William Ruto sympathizer and ally for quite some times now. And I don't really believe that now Sonko, in fact, even for the time he has been trying to look for, rather to contest for Mombasa gubernatorial seat, Sonko has not been attacking William Samoei Ruto. Something we expected that actually was to attack William Ruto politically, because likely that's what these leaders have been doing. But Sonko has never on any single occasion attacked William Ruto. A clear indication that as it is right now, Mike Mbuvi Sonko was acting on the behest of William Ruto. And he might have even been doing that without the full knowledge of Kalonzo Musyoka. Kalonzo Musyoka was just helping Sonko further William Ruto's agenda without actually knowing what Mike Mbuvi Sonko was up to. And there was going to be a very high possibility where if at all Sonko went ahead to win Mombasa gubernatorial seat, he was most definitely going to change his allegiance even to William Ruto. I'm seeing that kind of a possibility because I believe he is and still remains a William Ruto sympathizer. It's only that on the side of William Ruto, he might have not been all that much guaranteed of contesting for any elective seat. So he might have joined Azimio maybe to be allowed to contest for an elective seat. And from where I see it, maybe initially, Azimio team and even Uhuru Kenyatta and the government side, maybe they wanted to allow Mike Mbuvi Sonko to go ahead and contest. But now that they realized that Sonko was actually causing a lot of chaos and confusion in Mombasa County, the Azimio team, the government side, might have changed their minds on Mike Mbuvi Sonko's candidature in Mombasa. Initially, when they allowed him, they thought he was just going there for a joyride. But they came to realize that actually, Sonko was seriously upsetting the court's political base. That's what might have made Azimio team to change their minds on Sonko's candidature. Sonko was just there maybe, he was just allowed maybe not to be a serious candidate, but Sonko overstepped his mandate and it turned out to be a serious candidate. And the mere fact that Sonko was also gaining some traction in Mombasa is also an indictment on the masses. It's clear that a good majority of Kenyans still don't know the type of a leader who should be elected into office. Sonko was impeached as Nairobi governor for for misappropriating of public finance. He was impeached because of corruption. So I just don't understand how that leader was going to offer solution in Mombasa if in Nairobi he was found wanting. He was impeached because of corruption. So even if he was to be elected in Mombasa, I'm also very certain and very sure that Mike Mbuvi Sonko would have just continued with this corruption mentality. So that actually puts the integrity, or rather gives a very harsh indictment on Kenyans for just a possibility of thinking that they could actually elect such kind of a leader. It's true that he could have done completely nothing in Mombasa, same to what he did in Nairobi. If you look at Sonko's development record, for the time he served as Nairobi governor, for us in the city, we can tell you clearly that Sonko did absolutely nothing to uplift the livelihood of residents of the city. In fact, he made Nairobi, assuming Sonko could have continued as Nairobi governor, we could have even seen Nairobi degenerating into a slum. That's something most likely we could have witnessed, assuming Sonko would have continued as the governor. And that forced the national government to actually now bring in NMS, and NMS, when it took over, it did averagely well than the way Sonko was actually doing before. So I honestly believe that the mere fact that the people of Mombasa were thinking of even electing Sonko their governor, that's an indictment on the good people of Mombasa. And also, if you look at it again, ladies and gentlemen, Mike Mbuvi Sonko, in my honest opinion again, Mike Sonko is a leader who honestly I don't believe should be elected for any position. And besides even the corruption aspect of it, Sonko has actually also been banned from traveling overseas. So if you can elect such kind of a leader, it can also send a perception or create a picture that Kenya is largely a banana kind of a republic, where leaders of questionable integrity and characters are actually getting elected into office. And the mere fact that Sonko has also been banned, I also tend to believe that that could have also been extended to somebody like William Ruto. In my considered opinion again, William Ruto fails the leadership and integrity test. William Ruto has been mentioned in several cases of corruption. Aurora and the Kimare Dam, so many cases. William Ruto is also on record as clearly inciting Kenyans on ethnic basis. He has been constantly branding some community as wale wa kurusha mawe, wale wa kung'oa reli. So from where I see it, Mike Mbuvi Sonko, or rather not Mike Mbuvi Sonko, William Ruto also himself is not even fit to hold a public office. So in my considered opinion again, Ruto ought also to have been blocked for maybe contesting for the presidency. And that could have set a very good precedent, maybe for future leaders, for future leaders again. But still, maybe after this year's presidential elections, maybe the incoming government should crack the whip on such leaders as William Ruto and that team. A team of leaders clearly deemed corrupt. Otherwise, ladies and gentlemen, let me leave it there for today. In case you've bumped here for the very first time, kindly subscribe, give this video a like. Thank you. God bless you. God bless Kenya.